So today guys, we are going to learn how to make a palazzo pant trousers. And so I have my long ruler, my multi-purpose curve. I also have my measuring tape, my paper, scissors, my marker. Then also the fabric. We are going to be using this fabric, this leopard skin, animal skin fabric. So when you want to make a palazzo, it's very important for you to get the right choice of fabric for making a palazzo. You can get a silk, a chiffon, a thick chiffon fabric. You can get silk, you can get satin, but any kind of fabric that is soft and really flowy is what will fit a palazzo. So it would really look nice on the body and it will really flow like how a palazzo is supposed to flow. So this is the fabric we are going to use. This animal skin, this really lovely animal skin fabric. So now let's go to the drafting proper. Let's go to the drafting proper. So this is our pattern paper. Let me take it away. So these are pattern paper. So now I want to start. So the length of the palazzo I want to do is 42 inches. It's 42 inches. So I'm going to measure what's here. The length of the pattern is 40 inches. So that means that when I'm going to be cutting it on the fabric, I'm going to be adding 2 inches extra allowance on the fabric. So we're just going to be using this 40 inches and all. So now I want to start from here because I'm still going to be adding ½ inch allowance round the side. So I want to start from here. So I'll measure 2 inches down. I'll measure, or let me just say 1 inches. I'll measure 1 inch rather down. So this will be my starting point for taking my horizontal measurements. So the vertical measurement I need for my pant trousers, my palazzo pant trousers, for palazzo right now, not straight or fitted pants. Remember we are making a palazzo. I will need my hip line measurements. My waistline is already my starting. My waistline is already starting point is already my waistline. I'll need my hip line measurements, my crotch line measurement, and yeah, that's just basically it for now. So my waist to hip, my hip line, this is my waistline because this is the starting point. So my waist to hip is 8 inches. So I'll mark my 8 inches. I'll mark my 8 inches. So my crotch line is 10 inches, but I usually use 11 because it's a palazzo. So I'm going to be using 11 inches. So for example, maybe a customer calls you from far away, like maybe Zamfara, or the person is not in the same state as you are, and says he wants to make a pant trousers. So how do you want to measure the crotch line? How do you want to measure the thigh? How do you want to get your crotch measurements? So I'll employ you to join our trousers pant. I'm going to be showing you 2 ways you can get your crotch measurements. So for now, I'm just going to be telling you some things you expect from the trouser measurement. So for example, now a customer is far away and they want to make a pant, but there's no way they can take their thigh or crotch measurements. So if you want to get their crotch line measurements, their hips to be divided by 4. Their hips divided by 4 plus 1 or 2 inches. Okay, so for example, me now, my hip is 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. 9 inches plus 2 inches. That's what I've put down as my crotch measurement is 9. And remember I told you that I either use 10 or 11 for my crotch line. For my crotch line measurements. So if I add 1, it will still give me that 10. And if I add 2, it will still give me that 11. So it's just better you just add something. It's better you have in excess than you have in smaller quantity, if you get me right. So you can use 10, but it's just better you just add your hip divided by 4 plus 2 inches for your crotch line. So now I've already marked it. So I'm going to draw a straight line. So this is my hip line. This is my hip line. This is my crotch line. I hope you guys can see it. My hip line, my crotch line. My cross line. So the next thing right now is to measure my vertical measurement. My waist is my hips. So the first thing is to measure my, sorry, not my vertical measurement. I've already measured my vertical measurement. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to measure my horizontal measurement. So the first thing I'm going to be taking is is my hip measurement. When you want to draft a chart, the first horizontal measurement you are taking is your hip measurement. So my hip measurement, my round hips is 36. I'm going to be adding 2 inches to that 36. This only applies to a hip, round hip measurement. You're only adding 2 to your round hip measurement, not your waist measurement. So my round hip is 36. I'm going to be adding 36 to that. I'm going to be adding 2 inches to that 36. 36 plus 2 gives me 38. Then that's when I'm going to divide that 38 by 4. So let me come again. My hip measurement is the first horizontal measurement I'm going to be measuring on my trouser pattern. So before I measure my hip measurement, normally when you want to get the quarter of your hips, you impute it. But before you do the quarter of your hips, you are going to add 2 inches first. So 36 plus 2 gives me 38. 38 divided by 4 gives me 9.5. So I'll mark my 9.5. So now you see the reason why I said your hip measurement would be the first horizontal measurement you mark. So I really implore you to join our trouser class or our full course to be able to get how to be able to know how to get your crotch measurement. 3 ways you can get your crotch line measurement, your knee and everything. So please join. So after you already marked out that quarter of the hip measurement, I'm going to draw a straight line like this. So this is my crotch line. Okay, sorry, this is my crotch. Okay, yeah, it's still the same. This is my crotch line, but it's still yeah, I'm still right, I'm still correct. So now we've measured our hip line, our crotch line, and we've measured our hip line horizontal measurement for the hip measurement. So now we are going to the waist. So now we are going to our waist measurement. I'm taking the waist measurement from this side. So you see the reason why I said your hip measurement should be the first thing you are measuring, the first horizontal measurement you measure before any other thing. So now I'm going to be taking my waist measurement. I'm going to be taking my waist measurement from, I hope you can see, guys. I'm going to be taking my waist measurement from this area. So my waist, I'm not adding any 2 inches before I divide my waist by 4. So my waist is 27. 27 divided by 4 is 6.75. I'll mark my 6.75. I usually don't put that allowance. I usually don't put that to my palazzo shorts and it still comes out good, but it still doesn't matter. But I don't want to put that in this particular palazzo shorts, so I'm just going to leave in the dart part. But if you insist on putting your dart, just add another 1 inches seam allowance. 1 inches that I'll use for that, and that will be 7.75. But me, I'm not adding any dart, so I'm going to leave out that dart. So from that, I'm going to be adding half inch, what do they call it? Half inch is allowance. So after I've already marked my hip measurement, 27 divided by 4, 6.75. After I've marked it, then I came here and I added 0.5 is allowance to it. Then I'll take my curve, my hip curve, this side. Then so that's basically it. I'm going to mark my, so this is my waist, this is my hip measurement. So that does basically from the waist to the hip. So the next thing right now is we want to complete our crotch line. So there are 3 ways to complete to get your crotch line curve. We are going to be doing our crotch line curve now. So there are 2 ways. So I really implore you to join our trouser class so you'll be able to know this kind of way. But me, I'm going to be using this method. This hip line here. So for example, someone is far away. You cannot take the accurate measurement. You just need them to send their correct hip measurement. So you know this 9.5 we did here. This 9.5 that we calculated, my hip measurement 36 plus 2, 38 divided by 4, 9.5. This 9.5, you are going to get the quarter of it again. So for example, this is 9.5. 9.5 divided by 4. 9.5 divided by 4. See what it gives me. It gave me roughly 2.3 inches. So this 2.3 inches is what I'm going to be putting back here. So I'm going to be increasing it here. So that's that about that. Then I'll come here like this. I'll come here like this. Then I'll draw a curve. So that's that. Very simple, very straightforward. For a palazzo, I'm not talking about a straight or pencil pant, but for a palazzo, this is how straightforward, very straightforward it is. So since it's a palazzo, we are just going to take our ruler and draw it down below. So you know there are two sides of palazzo. There is a palazzo trouser and there is one that is slimmer than a palazzo trouser. So me, I want to do the wide leg pants trouser. So if I wanted to do the palazzo, I'm just going to draw my straight line down. I'm just going to draw my straight line down to the hem of the trouser. But me, I don't want the palazzo to be too free. I want to reduce it a bit. So I'm just going to come out like this. I'm just going to put my ruler like this. Maybe measure around 1.5 inches. Measure like 1.5 inches rather. So I'll just take my, remember that this measurement here, I already put it down here, you can see it. This measurement here, I already put it. So I now removed 1.5 inch. Then that's because I don't want my palazzo to be too big or too flowy. So can you guys see? Very straightforward, very simple. Palazzo is the simplest to make. Very simple straight. So now this is a palazzo pattern. So now I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch seam allowance round. So you see why I started, I left 1 inch before I did my starting point. It's because of this seam allowance. So you have to be very calculative. So I already put my 1/2 inch seam allowance round. So I'm going to cut. I'm going to be cutting on the seam allowance, if you can see, guys. Hello guys, so now I've already gotten out my fabric. I put it on fold already. So now this is my pattern. I've already done the pattern. So now I want to cut the front bodies of the palazzo trousers. So as you can remember, you know I told you that the length of the pattern cannot be enough to accommodate the hem allowance. So I'm just going to be adding it on the fabric. I'll make sure it's 2 inches. So I'll just measure 2 inches. If you cannot see, just measure 2 inches on the fabric. So if the pattern is shorter than the amount you want, when you put it on the fabric, that should settle all that. So now I'm going to be using a pin to hold it. So that's 2 inches for the hem allowance. So I'm going to use a pin to hold it down. So basically that's that. I've already used my pin to hold it. So now we've come, so can you see the hem allowance is the fabric, the length of the fabric is 2 inches longer than the pattern, because the length I want to use for the shoulder is 40 inches and the length of the pattern is 40, so that's not enough for the hem allowance. So now I've already added 2 inches hem allowance to the length of the pattern. So now this palazzo I want to make, I want to put a band on top of it. I want to put a band on the trouser. So I'm going to be folding this here. I'm going to measure 2 inches. because I'm using 2 inches. Because I'm using 2 inches band, or 1 inch rather, 1.5 inch rather, because by the time I'm going to be attaching my band, it will get back to 2 inches. So I'm going to measure 1.5 inch round, sorry, on top from the waist downward. 1.5 inch. I hope you can see it, guys. 1.5 inch, like that, like that. I'm supposed to measure 2, but by the time I use but if I measure 2, by the time I attach the band, it will become 2.5. So it's just better to measure 1.5. So by the time you attach the band to the trouser, it becomes 2 inches. So I'm going to draw a straight line. I'm going to draw a straight line like this. So I'm going to be folding this in. This 1.5 inch I marked, I'm going to fold it in, because I want to put a band. But if you are not putting a band, if you want it to be a bandless trouser, there's no need to putting in 1.5 or 2 inches in. But me, I want a band trousers. I want to attach a band to the trousers, so that's why I'm putting this 1.5 inches in. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it out. So mind you, I'm not putting any seam allowance, because I already put seam allowance from the start. So I'm just going to cut it. So the time you So as you can see, I've already cut it down to this part. So it's remaining the M. It's remaining the M and slashing the other side. So for this M, you're not going to be cutting it straight. You're not cutting it straight. You are going to make a slant line here. Yeah, so this is how you are going to do it. You're not cutting it straight. You're making a slant. You're making a slant line. Yeah, you're not cutting it straight. You're making a slant line. Yeah. So I hope you guys can see it like this. So I'm just going to cut the rest like this, following the slant line. And so for this side, I've already cut this side, as you can see. So for this, I'm just going to slash this side open, because I already cut the waist to the hip, the curved part of the waist to the hip. So I'm just going to slash the rest open. So now we've already cut the front body. So now we are going to the back. So now we are ready for the back. The back bodies of the trouser, because of the butt and because the back is always bigger than the front, the back of the trouser is always 1 inch longer. It's always 1 inch wider than the front bodies, and 1.5 to 2 inches longer than the back bodies. So now we'll see what you want. So you're going to see what I'm talking about. So for the back bodies, it's always longer. The back body is always longer than the front body. So this is my back bodies here. This is my back bodies here. So I'm going to be coming to the crotch part of my back bodies. So this is my front, this is my back bodies. So this crotch part, this crotch line, crotch curve, not this side. Don't do the mistake of doing it at the side seam. You have to do it from the crotch line. So I'm going to come up by 1.5 inch like this. I'm going to come up by 1.5 inch like this. Then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to make a slant line towards the side seam where the waist starts. So once again, I said the back bodies of a trouser is always 1 or 1.5 inches longer than the front bodies. So don't know if you can see it clearly, because okay, I think it's better now. So I came up by 1.5 inch, not from the side seam where the waist is, but from the crotch line of the trouser. So I came up, can you see the front is already on the back, but I already folded my fabric for the back bodies, I put enough space to accommodate the extra inches I'm going to be putting, and I put my front bodies on top of the back bodies. So on the crotch line, I'll come up by 1.5 inch because of the butt. You know, the butt is really big, so it has to be longer, so it's not be falling down, it will be or it will be short when you wear it and you're always pulling it up. So I'll come up by 1.5 inch. Then I took my ruler. And I made a slant line from that crotch line, that 1.5 inches I measured from the crotch line, down to the side seam. I hope you guys can see it. I really hope you can see it. To the side seam. So after I've done that, I'll measure 1 inch round. So remember that when we were cutting the front bodies, we added 1/2 inch seam allowance. So now we are just going to be adding 1 inch without no seam allowance. So we do it round. So I'm just going to do it, take it down to the end. So note, we're only adding that 1 inch extra to this side, to where the crotch line faces. We are not adding it to the side seam. So also the 1.5 inches that is coming up from the front bodies, you're only putting it on the crotch line, not side seam. So now we are going to cut. So now I'm going to be cutting this side. So now I already cut it, like, so this is my front bodies and this is my back bodies. So from the band, so that you can understand cutting the band and a simpler way of cutting it and fixing it to the trousers. So I'm going to be cutting the band after I've sewn the trousers, so stay tuned. Thank you. Hello guys, so now we've already cut our front and back bodies for the pant trousers. So this is the front, so you can see the back bodies is 1.5 inches longer than the front bodies, and the back bodies is 1 inch longer than the front bodies, putting to mind that we've already put seam allowance on the front bodies. So it's the same seam allowance that we've put on the front body that will be transferred to the back, plus extra 1 inch for when, or we like call it when allowance, but the standard 1.5 inch 1 inch. But no, this is only applicable to a palazzo trousers. If you understand me, it's only applicable to a palazzo trousers. So now we are going to be going to the sewing machine to sew. So the first thing we are going to sew is the crotch. We are going to sew it by 1/2 inch, both the front and the back crotch line. So now let's go to this. So let me take it to the sewing machine and sew, then I'll be right back. So guys, I've already sewn the crotch line. So as you can see, I took the two front bodies together. I sewed it together. Then also the back, this is the back bodies, I also sewn it together. So I'm going to place right sides facing each other, right sides facing each other, and if you can use a pin to sew it, but you can hold it, you can use pins to secure it before sewing it, but I'm really an expert, so I really don't need that. So I'm going to be sewing the sides right now. Remember, it's half inch seam allowance we put around, so I'm going to be sewing the sides. So I'm going to bring it together like this. Then I will sew this side and this. Sorry, so I'm going to be sewing this side and this side. So I'm going to be sewing it from the down, from the hem up like this. I'm going to be sewing this side too from the down up like that. So I'll be right back. So as you can see, the pant trouser is already taking shape. Yeah, it's already taking shape. So when I sew the sides, this place I left the side, I left around 5 inches, around 4 to 5 inches open there, because I'm still going to fix my band, and also I'm using this place as a zipper allowance. So by the time I fix my band, the 4 inches there becomes 6 inches, so that will be enough for my zipper allowance. So I've already sewn the side. So the next thing is to sew this inside. So can you see that sewing a pant, a palazzo especially, is very, very simple and straightforward. The cutting and the sewing is not as difficult as it seems. So I'm going to come to where the front and the back crotch meets here. So you can see the front and the back crotch where it meets here. Sorry, where it meets rather. So I'm just going to take a pin because it has to align. The 2 points like this, the 2 seams like this has to align. The front and back seam of the crotch line has to align. So I'm going to use an office pin to hold it like this. I'm going to use an office because this part has to align, it has to meet each other. So then I'm going to go to both trousers, the hem of both trousers. So I'm going to be taking it in by 2 inches. I can do 1 and a half, I can do 2 inches, but I think I want to do 1 and a half. So I'm going to be sewing the hem in for both the right side and the left side. So from there I'm going to be sewing it. So let me sew in the hem, then when I'm done I'll come back to show you. So guys, I already did the hem already. So if you can remember the time when we were cutting the hem and I said we were going to slant, when you get to the hem, when you get to that 2 inches hem allowance, you are going to slant instead of cutting it straight. It is because of this reason we want it to be balanced. We want the hems to be balanced too with the seams. With the place we cut. So for example, now if we had cut it straight, it would be like this. It would be slant like this. The hem, like this place here, would be slanted, like it would not be looking nice. So that's why you have to slant it, so that it can be the same width. It can be the same width, the seams. So I'm going to be trimming those parts off for the 2 sides. So I'll come here as well. And I'll trim it off. So the next thing now is to join the inside. The inseam. It's called the inseam. Yeah, you guys might not know, but it's called the inseam. So I'm going to be joining this side now. So remember this place where the front and the back crotch meet. I already used the pin to make sure that it is the same thing. So I'm going to be sewing it. I'm going to be sewing it from here like this. I'm going to be sewing it from here to meet the front and back crotch. Then close it up to the. Then I'm going to close it up to the other side as well. So now let's go to the sewing machine. So guys, I already closed it up. So very, very simple. The sewing is very, very simple and straightforward. So now our pant trousers are formed. Like in how many minutes I've sewn it and it's already formed already. So can you guys see? Can you guys see our pant trousers? Straightforward, very simple, very easy peasy. So this is the front, the bigger one is the back, and the bigger one is the front. So now we are going to go to the band. We are going to go to the band. So now I want to cut my band. Now I said that before we can cut the band, we have to join everything first. So I want to join my band in such a way. Okay, it doesn't really matter though. But if you are going to be sewing for a customer, you want to join your band in such a way that they can always adjust the sides. If the measurement is too big, the pant shorts, the waist is too big or it's too small for you. So I would suggest that you leave this part, you leave it opened, join your band, then you close it up. So when they want to adjust, they can always adjust the sides, the waist, the two sides, the left and right sides of the waist. But since it's my perfect size and I'm using my perfect measurement, there's no need for that. So I'm just going to measure around. I'm just going to measure around like this. So this is 36 and a half. I measured 36 and a half for the whole round waist of the trousers, but I'm going to be using 37 just in case. So I'm going to be cutting 37 band. So this is my fabric. This is my fabric. I want to cut out the band of the trousers. So you know we measured 37 inches. 37 divided by 2 is 37 divided by 2 is 37. The round waist we measured on the pattern. 37 divided by 2 is 18.5. So I measure 18.5 because we are cutting it on fold. So that's why we are dividing the 37 by 2. So okay. So I measured the 18.5. So I'm going to be, so the length of, I said I was going to use 2 inches. I want to use 2 inches for my band. So I'm going to be adding, I'm going to be adding half inch seam allowance for joining to the trousers. So that means I'll be using 5. The length of the band will be 5 because I'm going to be folding it in. So the length of the band will be 5 and the breadth or the width is 37 divided by 2. No, it's on fold, so it will be 18.5. But I don't want to use 5 inches as the length. I want to use 4 because I want my band to be really short. So I'm just going to cut. I'm just going to indicate the 4 all around like this. So I'll take my ruler and draw a straight line. This is my 4 inches. So I'm going to cut. So I already cut it out. So this is my band. So I'm going to fold it like this into 2. I'm going to be folding it like this. It will be on fold. I'm going to be folding it like this into 2. So I'm going to use a iron to press it down. So I'll be right back. So I already used my iron to press it. So I put it on fold. I put it on fold like this. So I pressed it like this. So the next thing, what we are doing is very, very simple. The next thing I'm going to do before I fix my zip, I'm going to take this part where the ACRJ is showing. I'm just going to take, then I'm going to put it on the pants. So this is the pants trousers, quite alright. this is the waistline, the raw edges. So I'm going to be placing it like this. Then I'm going to sew it round till it gets to the other side. I'm going to be sewing it round like this. So if you can see this properly, this is the band. So I already fixed the band, so I changed my mind. I opened the two sides, so I'll be able to adjust. Maybe if I get fatter or if I get slim, I can always adjust the sides. So I'm going to be shaping out my trousers. So my trousers, my round waist divided by 2 is 13.5. Then the circumference of this place here, of the waist here, is 16. 16 minus 13.5 is 2.5. Then 2.5 divided by 2 is 1.25. So I'm going to measure 1.25 on both sides like this. 1.25. So I'm going to measure my hips as well, my hip line. So I can make my hip measurements. I can measure my hip measurement. 8-inch here. 8-inch here. So this is the hip line. This is the hip line. So my hip is 36. 36 divided by 2 is 18. So yeah, so I'm going to measure this whole here. This is 20. 18 minus 2 is 20. So 1 inch, which I most definitely still measured when I was sewing. But just to be on the safer side and to make sure it's really fitted. So you can just do this. And if you don't mind it not being fitted, so just sew out, then shape it out. Shape it out. So this is where I'm going to be putting my zipper. So I'm going to be closing this side. So when I put my zipper, I'm going to show you how the final look looks like. So guys, I already fixed my zipper already. I already fixed my zipper into the zipper allowance. So this is the finished look. This is the front body. This is the back body. This is everything from the end to the. Yep. So this is basically my palazzo trousers. So I'm going to wear it for you.